Hello and welcome to the United Stand. It's the Derby special. Well, it starts here. We hate the international break. It is the United Stand, the Manchester United fan channel, all about your opinions, and we are going to make this international break as interesting as possible. Starting off with Jose Mourinho versus Pep Guardiola, Manchester United versus Manchester City. We're going to do about 3 or 4 of these shows looking at different aspects, tactics, history, but the one we really wanted to start off with, who has got the better players? Is it Manchester City? Is it Manchester United? Very easy, I think, to be biased, but also probably, in a sense, probably not that biased, are we? I mean, who has the better players? I would say maybe Manchester United, but we'll be going through that very, very shortly with you, getting your thoughts in relation to that. But first of all, let's get the live comments section up and running for you. First thing I want to look at really is goalkeepers, because I think that's quite a very straightforward area to start with. De Gea, there's no argument, is there? David De Gea is better than whatever they want to put in. I mean, it's a shame it's not Joe Hart. Would be nice to have Joe Hart as the opposition, wouldn't it? Because Mr. Head and Shoulders thinks he's better than everybody, but he's not. De Gea is better than him, and De Gea is better than Bravo, who they've brought in, and he's better than Calabaro if they play him, or whatever his name is. So yeah, definitely De Gea by a mile, as Carrot Fan says. Looking at the way City line up, it's very different to tell what sort of formation they're playing. 4-4-2, tiki-taka, tic-tacs, whatever. But let's go with what they've gone with in the last game against West Ham and Manchester United. I think when you look at Zabaleta or you look at Valencia, it's interesting. I mean, maybe a couple of years ago you'd say comfortably Zabaleta, but you've got to look at form. It's 1-0 in relation to the goalkeepers to United. In relation to fullbacks, Valencia or Zabaleta, I'm going to try and be as unbiased as possible. I would go with Valencia based on form. He's getting a lot of assists, and I think Zabaleta's coming towards the end of his career. Again, as you switch over to left backs, Luke Shaw or Clichy, no doubts in my mind that it's Luke Shaw. That's 3 up already. I'm struggling to see much in the City side, and I think there's a theme running here that really worries me when they come to Manchester United, when they come to Old Trafford. There is a couple of players, but when you actually go through it, and we're going to do a lot about Jose v Pep anyway, but it just doesn't worry me. I think there's 2 sides to a story, obviously, but they played a very, very poor Sunderland side at home, opening game of the season. They then beat Stoke, but it was 2-1 for a long time, and they got 2 late goals that made it look more convincing than it was. And then against West Ham reserves, no Payet, no Lanzini, a team that's just been knocked out of the Europa League, so a very, very poor side. And City, yeah, they got 2 quick goals, but it was 2-1, and again, not convincing. Flip it round, United, we were convincing against Bournemouth. Southampton, the score was convincing. They probably were a bit wasted in the final third. And Hull parked the bus. Again, not 3 great teams, but we've dispatched with them as convincingly as City have. I don't think you can be in fear of City because they've won their games as much as they probably can't be in fear of us. But when we go through the squads, it's us. Valencia is very smart in the attack, just defence side that's iffy, says iRevolution Z. Definitely believe that. De Bruyne is as good as Pogba, I think, says Oathman Adabi. We'll get onto that in a moment. Our defence can't IP their attack. Bay also bigger. Shaw beats Clichy, says Bavnesh. Yeah, totally believe that. Bay over Stones. And a little bit of talk about injury there. Well, let's go to their centre-backs. They've been playing definitely John Stones, and obviously we've got Bailly and Blind. I just need to double check actually who they played as centre-back. I know Kalaroff came on, but I thought, yeah, Otamendi. Well, again, throw up whatever you want. I would say, again, I'd happily put Stones against Blind because I think Blind beats Stones. And I think Bailly or Otamendi, Bailly is the best centre-back in the Premier League at the moment. It isn't unfair to say that. So I still haven't given City a point, and we've gone through 5 players here. I think John Stones, to be honest, is lightweight, and I think Zlatan is going to destroy him. I really do. I tweeted that off my account this morning. I think Zlatan will annihilate him if we put balls into the box. Otamendi will try and go head-to-head. We just got to put balls in the box against City because we can really bully them, and that's where Shaw and Valencia are going to be so important. I'm not even being biased. We are 5-0 up here and we've only done 5 positions. As we move into the midfield, let's presume that Fellaini is fit, and defensive midfielders against who? I mean, Caps Lapamano 1998 says, who do you replace Fellaini with? Well, maybe they win this position, because if we've got to replace Fellaini with Schneiderlin, Carrick or Herrera, they've not played, so that's a jump into the unknown. Fernandinho has, and I'm sure that's Fernandinho, isn't it, who plays? I don't want to get it wrong. Yeah, Fernandinho's sort of their anchorman midfielder, isn't he? Surrounded by Silva, Nolito, Sterling and De Bruyne. So, yeah, I would, if it's Fellaini against Fernandinho, you know, I've got to be consistent. I think Fellaini's done really, really well, but we can't just go 6-0 up. So let's give City that position anyway, because Fernandinho's done quite well for them, to be fair, and Fellaini has done well for us, but I'm going to be in a generous mood because I don't think Fellaini's going to be fit, is he? And we're making a jump into the unknown, so they've got that consistency. So let's say it's 5-1 at that position. Your box-to-box midfield, this is where it gets a bit confusing here as to who plays where for City, but I'm going to mix and match a bit, and I'm going to do the big one, Pogba or De Bruyne. Who is the better player? You know what? I could get really... I mean, Eric's saying that Aguero is banned, and he isn't banned yet. He's got a calf injury. De Bruyne or Pogba? I mean, I'll throw it out to you. I mean, De Bruyne is a decent player. I'm not going to lie, and I'm not going to let rivalry interfere with that. Pogba isn't Premier League proven yet. He's not settled in totally because he's only had 2 games. He wasn't great against Hull, was he? I thought he was fantastic against Southampton. I think he is going to be a great player, but you've got to judge it now. And to be totally honest, I think in 3 months, 2 months' time, Pogba will be the best midfielder in this league. At the end of the season, he'll prove himself. I think at the moment, if you were being totally impartial, and I'm trying to do this impartially, and I know you're all going to be going mad there, like Sam saying Pogba's better, Cameron saying Pogba, Tahihi saying Pogba. De Bruyne has been fantastic since he's come to the Premier League. He is Premier League proven, and judging it right now on when the derby's going to happen, I think you could make an argument for De Bruyne only based on the fact that Pogba isn't settled here yet. He's not got that experience of the Premier League behind him. So I'm going to go with De Bruyne, not because I think he's a better player, just based on form. Much the same with Valencia and Zabaleta. A lot of people might say Zabaleta's a better fullback. Maybe he is, but based on form, we're putting Valencia ahead of him. De Bruyne and Pogba, De Bruyne's Premier League proven, so I will give them that position. So it's 5-2 as we move into the number 10 positions. Now, I'm not going to argue about this at all, and I don't think anybody can. I'm just going to take some of your comments. Vishal's hoping that Fellaini can be ready for City. They're different players, says Humza. They definitely are. It's difficult to try and pin down either way, but yeah, we go with that. Leo, Abraham, Pogba. Pogba will be better. I'm just trying to make it a little bit more even-handed. We are 5-2 up. Chris Goodrew, wow, goodbye United stand. Don't know what you're on about. Stephen McMorrow this season. Mark, I think Mourinho will drop Martial. Shocking, says Lee Healy. I think, Lee, you're probably joining it a little bit late. This is based on player for player as we go into the derby, based on form. Pogba has had 2 games in the Premier League. He's going to be fantastic. He's going to be the best midfielder in the world, I think. But based on form and what they've done in the Premier League at this moment in time, De Bruyne, I think you could make... I'm trying to make it a bit more fairer. We're winning 5-2. Chill out. We're not going to be winning 5-2 anymore, though, because I think if you went to Rooney or Silva, I'll throw it to you. I'm going to throw you this one because I think this one's where you're not going to be biased. Venky's saying that Silva wins it against Rooney, so obvious. Live Forever saying smash the like button and support the channel. After a season in the Premier League, Pogba will be world class. Sam, that's exactly what I'm saying. Eric, to be honest, De Bruyne is world class, but I agree completely with you, Mark. Tyler, that was from Sporting Fleming. Tyler Rooney, Kevin and Paul are 2 different players. They are. Mark, do you think Zlatan can do the job at number 10? The match is next week. Mark, Rooney needs to sit down for Henrique, says Eric. I'll tell you what, that's a very good point. I think if we put Mkhitaryan in at number 10 and he went head-to-head with Silva, I'd say Mkhitaryan based on the fact what he can do in that position. But because it's Rooney and Silva, I think you've got to go with Silva. You have to, don't you? Cameron Abraham said that. So 5-3 to us as we go into the next position. We've moved through the midfield. You know what the last one's going to be, but we'll go with right side of midfield and left side of midfield. as to who we think is going to play. I am actually going to say that Mkhitaryan will start on the right, and if he's up against Nolito or he's up against Sterling, I would still give it to Mkhitaryan. I think that brilliant bit against Hull when he ran through the middle was amazing past 3 players. I think he's going to be an absolute revelation. So I'm not even arguing about that one. It definitely would be Mkhitaryan. So that puts us 6-3 up. Moving to the left-hand side, Sterling. I mean, I don't rate Raheem Sterling. I was an England fan in the summer, and he was an absolute bag of crap. He scored a couple of goals, and he's a 50. This is what I said this morning that really makes me laugh, is the press are all over this. Oh, Pep's turned Sterling into the next Iniesta. I mean, he's a £50 million player. He should be quite decent. The reality is, he isn't that good. And why are the press, building Sterling up so much? Because what Jose's done with Fellaini is nothing short of biblical. It's miraculous what he's done with him. He's turned a player who was absolutely a bag of cement into his isn't a bad defensive midfielder in the Premier League. So, yeah, definitely. Jay's saying Sterling right now is better than Martial. I suppose there is that argument. There is that argument, isn't it? But Colin Archer says he's overrated, which I agree. Pogba and Kevin De Bruyne play different positions. MUFC Freddy. They do. We just threw them in together to just try and give City a point, I think. Sterling playing very well, says Hussein. Sterling is shit, says Wilf. I agree. We're comfortably up at 6-3 anyway. We'll give him that. We'll say based on form that Sterling is better, 6-4. But Martial I'm a massive fan of Martial. I don't like the criticism he's getting. And I think, he was the outfield player of our season last year. He won his games. He was absolutely sensational. And he deserves that little bit of support when things don't go so well. Because all players go through it. But Martial's a better player than Sterling. But I suppose based on form, we'll give him that. So it's 6-4. This is the one, and the final position, Aguero v Zlatan. I mean, Aguero hopefully won't be playing because he's been banned. I've heard people saying, oh, look at you all want him to be banned because you're scared. I think any club in the world, if somebody's elbowed somebody and they shouldn't play against you, you know what? I'm not one of them people who say, oh, for a spectacle, Aguero should. I mean, these pundits on Match of the Day and the like saying, the derby's such a spectacle. I know he's done wrong, but we want him to play. Well, in 1999, it was the biggest spectacle of my Manchester United supporting life when we were in the Champions League final. And 2 of my favourite players at the time, Roy Keane and Paul Scholes, missed out for second yellow cards. They didn't elbow anybody, they got second yellow cards. For the spectacle, they should have been playing. They weren't, because there's something called rules, and even though they were silly second yellow cards, that meant they were suspended. Same thing happened to Darren Fletcher a few years ago in a Champions League final. Aguero's purposely thrown an elbow. I don't care about spectacle. There's something called fair play. He should be banned. He's got a calf injury now, apparently. I think it's just another ploy to maybe make the FA think, well, what's the point in banning him? He's going to miss out for a calf injury, and then miraculously, he will play in the derby. So ban the little sod. But if we're talking about the derby, it goes from 6-4 to 7-4 because whatever they play other than Aguero is not going to be fit to wipe Zlatan's backside. So we would win 7-4. However, if you were talking to me Aguero v Zlatan, I'm sorry, I would still go Zlatan. Because you know why I would go Zlatan? Aguero is a fantastic Premier League striker. If you put him in your fantasy Premier League team, he's going to get you a lot of points. He's absolutely superb. However, he's a limited player. There's a way to shut him up. There's a way to, play deep, get tight on him, don't give him any space, and he struggles. You do that to Zlatan, he'll bully you to death. He's done it absolutely everywhere. He's at the prime of his career. He's scoring goals. I would take Zlatan any day of the week. Barry Ryan's just come up for a very good point there. So there you go. I would go Zlatan. That's 7-4. We've whizzed through the teams. And if you wanted a combined 11, this is what we would go. 7 to Manchester United, 4 to Manchester City. De Gea in goal. Valencia, Bailly, Blind, Shaw, Fernandinho, De Bruyne, Silva, Mkhitaryan, Sterling, Zlatan, based on form. You're all moaning about the Pogba v De Bruyne thing. Pogba will be better than De Bruyne, but based on Premier League form at the moment, they're not similar players anyway. They just got thrown together. You know what? Let's take that back. Let's have Pogba as well. So it's what's that? That makes it 7-4. It was 8-3. We were not going to be generous to City. They don't deserve it. But somebody just said there, what about Rashford v that young lad that they've got at City? I can never pronounce his name, Ichenir or whatever like that. Rashford. Rashford's the best striker in England. Laughable what Big Sam's doing with England. Doesn't pick him, picks Walcott. What's Walcott done in the last however long he's been alive as a Premier League footballer? 10 years. Rashford's done more than 5 minutes than Walcott's done in 10 years. So forget him. He's going to make Henderson his captain. So Rashford for me is second only to Zlatan at Manchester United. He's one of the best strikers in the league, definitely. Martial will improve, says Leo Abraham. He certainly will. Zabaleta, question mark, says Philo. Well, we're talking about the derby. We're talking about form. Zabaleta, without question, is a better right back than Valencia. But based on form at the moment, I don't think there's a better right back in the country than Valencia, which is why we went with that. Rojo is staying, says Case and Gomez. Will we get any transfer news over the next few days? I do not know. Hoping for Fabinho, but we'll have to wait and see. Zlatan takes Aguero's lunch money. Wilf, I can't wait for this derby. We've got different shows. This is about the players. We've got the Jose v Pep tactics coming later in the week. A bit beyond that, we've got the history between the two, and you know how important that's going to be. We've got the story of the United stand as well, which is going to be done as well, and we've got a transfer review on Wednesday in reaction to any deal. So there's lots going on. Martin's telling me to get on FIFA. I forgot about that, but just to all let you know as well, there'll be no show tomorrow night. We do a show every night. There'll be no show on the United stand tomorrow night. Keep an eye out on Twitter for what I will be in the Fan TV studio in London at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. I'll put the link out. I'll even put it in the video description here where you need to watch it. But we will be live on, I'll be live in the studio, Fan TV tomorrow. So join in for that. Great. Manchester United. So we went from 7-4 to 8-3. We've got a better team. We have got a better team. I don't think we were biased in that at all. And I can't wait for it to get closer. But drop us a like, please. Get commenting below. I always like to generate a bit of opinion, and I think we did with that. But I don't think we were biased. You know, De Gea's better than their keeper. Our back four, man for man, is better than their back four. I'll give them Fernandinho over Fellaini, because Fellaini's probably going to be injured anyway. Silva's better than Rooney. De Bruyne and Pogba, I mean, based on form and Premier League proven, yes, De Bruyne, that's probably why I went with it. But Pogba's better, isn't he? So they're not having that one. Mkhitaryan's better than Nolito. They can have Sterling better than Martial at the moment based on form. But Zlatan and Aguero, or Zlatan and whoever, I always choose Zlatan. I think he's the dogs. Zalim Hussein's talking about FIFA. Okay, right. I'm finishing there. However, we've started our United Stand FIFA League. We did the draw earlier. There's a link in the video description under the first paragraph to our United Stand FIFA channel. And in about 5 to 10 minutes, at half past 8, I'm playing Martin live on the FIFA channel. We're going head to head. I think he's going to be Dortmund. I think everyone chose the teams. I'm going to be Atletico Madrid. So get down to the link in the video description. Hang about there, and in about 10 minutes we will be live in a head to head, and I'll tweet it out as well. Going to be interesting. We're trying new things out on there. But thanks everybody for watching. If you're just into the football, I really enjoyed that tonight. And what's my prediction for the derby, Salim? I can't consider losing. I hated the fact that we were going to drop 2 points on Saturday. I love what Jose's done to Manchester United. He's made us. I just don't want to lose anymore. You know, we got used to losing. We got used to drawing and dropping points. At the moment, it's just massive failure, and I don't want that. So I cannot even contemplate. I'll be disappointed with a draw. I want us to beat them. I want us to bully them. I want us to humiliate them. And I think, man for man, we will. I really do. So looking forward to it. Thanks everybody for watching. Drop us a like. Subscribe to the United Stand if you're new. Lots going on this week. Ignoring the fact that it's international break and just trying to interact and make it interesting in what can be a really dull couple of weeks. So get commenting below, like the video, join us on me on Fan TV tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Got loads of content coming up when I'm back, and pop over to the FIFA channel, link in the second paragraph. I'm going to take Martin on and kick his ass. Thanks for watching. Speak to you all very soon.